Hey geeks and gamers, welcome back to an editorial, and today I'm going free form, just getting my thoughts out onto some sort of a format today, because I've been thinking a lot about video games that ask you to do nothing, the art of doing nothing in a video game. It's something I've been thinking about recently because I've been playing Shenmue 2. I'm a big fan of Yu Suzuki, and Shenmue, his magnum opus of a series, is a perplexing one. I recently did a playthrough of Shenmue 1. It's been a really long time since I played Shenmue 2. I played it on the original Xbox a long time ago, but I'm playing the remaster, and it's a game that I've been really enjoying, but it's also a game that I've just kind of been vibing with. It's just kind of a game where you're wandering around Hong Kong, talking to people, investigating things, finding activities to do. And I was thinking about the fact that on paper, Shenmue as a whole doesn't really ask much of you. People like to incorrectly label Shenmue as a beat-em-up. Honestly, there's not that many beat-em-up segments. There are beat-em-up segments in the game, but the fights are a very small part of the experience when it comes to Shenmue. So, I was thinking about what's the appeal? Why am I enjoying the game so much? I mean, realistically, all I'm doing is walking around, talking to people, doing odd jobs for money, completing tasks to complete a narrative. Finding out information, and just kind of living in this city, this world. And it's a really interesting thing to me, the art of doing nothing in video games. And Shenmue isn't the only example that I have. There's a couple other games that I was thinking about that also kind of do this. The first one is a game that I started playing more recently. I started playing Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima, I love the guy. I didn't play Death Stranding when it was released because there was a bit of a backlash, I say. Not really a backlash. There was a bit of a negativity around the game, I think, when it came out. Because I think a lot of people expected it to be more action-y, more Metal Gear. And Death Stranding, while it has some fantastic cinematics and voice acting and story concepts, a lot of the gameplay, most of the gameplay, is walking from place to place delivering things. And that sounds incredibly boring. Just ridiculously boring on paper. But in all actuality, I've been playing that one, and I really like it. It's a game that I've been really into. I'm kind of upset with myself for not trying it earlier. I've been playing the director's cut on Steam, which I know does add and change some stuff. But it's been great. I love playing this one on my Steam Deck. And it's just been like a relaxing game where, the story stuff is great. The parts where you actually have to do stealth or use, guns and stuff is cool. But the best part of the game to me is the part where the game says, okay, you're here, you need to trek to this point, get to walking. And you're just going to walk, try not to trip over things, try not to drown, try to, traverse the landscape, don't drop your packages. And that's the fun of the game. And that's another game that basically asks you to do nothing as part of the big, the main gameplay loop. And for some reason it works. For some reason it really works. I really like that one. And of course, one of my favorite games of all time, No More Heroes, does this. Specifically, No More Heroes 1 does this. Because if you've never played No More Heroes, the first game, you're trying to take down a leaderboard of assassins. There's 10 assassins you have to fight, but you have to earn money to enter the fights. And that's where this gameplay concept comes in. Because No More Heroes isn't just an action game. Between the action stages, you're going to have to drive around the city of Santa Destroy, do odd jobs, do assassination missions, make money. You can buy t-shirts, you can train, you can level up your gear. You can do all sorts of stuff. And, you know, a lot of that game isn't spent slashing your sword. A lot of that game is spent just kind of living in this world for a little bit. And it's oddly relaxing. That game, out of all the examples I have today, that game is the more action-y one because the levels are very action-focused. And the sequels focus more on the action. The second game entirely focuses on action. They took out aspect of the second game altogether. The third game, I'm not counting Travis Strikes Again because that's like almost a completely different type of game. The third game returns to this concept, but it's a little... it plays fast and loose with it because there aren't action stages. The action takes place in the open world. You actually go to like arena fights and stuff. So that's sort of how that game progresses. So it's a little different than the first game, but it still kind of has that DNA as well. Where there's parts where you just kind of vibe and do nothing. But a lot of the first No More Heroes is spent doing nothing. And I really enjoy that. And that's just something interesting to me. Just been thinking about that. The way that you can design a game around the concept of doing almost nothing, and it just works for some reason. I know there's going to be people out there that don't like this. I'm sure I'll get some comments on this editorial by people saying that they don't like these games because of that very same reason, because they're boring, blah blah blah, whatever. You like wrestling, I get it, but I don't know. I think it's pretty neat to have that, and I think a lot of people like a lot of those. I'm not that into them, but a lot of the like farming games or like city games and stuff, like like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, My Time at Portia, like those kind of games, for that very same reason. I have trouble with those games because it often feels like I lack direction, whereas in the games that I listed, I have direction to follow, but I can still kind of vibe and play them at my own pace. So yeah, it does seem like there is a market for this, but I don't know. It's just been something I was thinking about. I don't really have a real point today to end on what my point for this editorial was. I just thought that was an interesting thing to think about, was the concept of doing nothing. I've been really enjoying Shenmue 2. I forgot how fucking good Shenmue 2 is. I really did. Because it's been a long time. And I played through Shenmue 1 twice recently. I played through it once. We did it for the button mappers. And I played through it. And I was kind of in a rush to do that one. And I'll be honest, if you're playing Shenmue in a rush with a guide, that is not the way to play Shenmue. Because the second time I replayed it again, this isn't the first time I've played these games, by the way. Again, I have the Dreamcast version of the 1 and the Xbox version of the original 2. So I have the original versions here in the US. But I was playing the remasters and replaying the first game without a guide at my own pace was a great experience. And I've been loving 2. And I'm really curious to see if I like Shenmue 3. Haven't played that one yet. That's why I'm trying to get through these 2 again, because I want to play through them, and then I want a fresh perspective on 3, because 3 is also a game that came out and I think got a lot of lukewarm reception for being more Shenmue, which, I mean, hey, if you expected Shenmue 3 not to be more Shenmue, that's on you, because that's exactly what that game is supposed to be, right? But I haven't played it yet, so I can't speak too much on that one. But I am interested to give it a try and see if it still retains a lot of the qualities that I liked about the first 2 games. And there's also, I've been really into the Yakuza games. Those do this, but not as much. There's a lot more going on in the Yakuza games. I would say there's a lot more goofiness and action and stuff to just find and do. You're never really doing nothing in Yakuza, so I would like half count those games, I think. Granted, I've only played 3 of them, but I'm slowly making my way through them. Yeah, if you know any examples of good do-nothing video games, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on this type of game as a whole? You know, is it boring to you? Do you like it? Do you like just to vibe out in these worlds? Let me know in the comments. This is it for this editorial. I don't know how to end it. I have 2 episodes of Hey Geeks and Gamers in the pipeline. Edited and ready to, well, they're not fully edited, but they're ready to go, basically. One will be out soon, the other one I'll space out. And I am working on a new 5 Sheep games, so you can look forward to those in the coming month or 2. And yeah, thanks for vibing with me here on TurboZone.
I will avenge my father!
Leo, I want to hear more about you.